So I set out like I had planned to go down some skidder trails and make a big loop, and I ran into a fresh track. And I decided that I was just going to follow that track and see where it goes. It was very fresh from the morning time probably, or the night time. So I started down it, and took me through some thicker stuff. Popped out in this little opening where there was some tree with some old man's beard moss that he munched on. Kind of left that. I had to do a quick circle around the tree to figure out where he went. Got back on the track, went for a ways more, and came out into this grassy area that you'll see it a few times in the video. It's where I saw the moose track and the deer track together. It's also where I noted that I'm right back where I was before. So that buck had brought me through there a few times. He made me track him back up my back track. So he had stepped inside my track from earlier in the day. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, very well. I don't care how big this guy is. He's got an attitude problem, and I plan to fix it. So I track him. He brings me out around this whole nother loop. I basically did this cloverleaf thing through the woods. Basically the only area that was left in that block of woods that I hadn't already explored. And I kind of had a feeling that there was deer holding up in there because that beaver had blocked off that road, so you couldn't really get through. And the only way to it, you'd have to come from another road through the backside, which I did in the video before. So long story short, the track starts going back towards the truck, and I'm like, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, this day's almost done. If I don't catch up to this guy here soon, it's gonna be it. So I keep tracking him, and he gets maybe 100 feet from the road where I would walk out, and turns into the woods. And it's almost 3 o'clock at this point, and I'm standing there thinking, looking at my Onyx maps, like my truck is right over there, less than a quarter of a mile away. I could just go walk, get in the truck, and go home to say to hell with this, or I know there's some woods opening up here where he's going. Maybe I'll catch him out there. My hope was pretty low, but I had about another hour of hunting, so I figured I might as well give it a shot. So I stayed on him, and I popped out of that growth, and I look up, and he's staring at me. Just plain as day, broadside. He had gone up around a little thicket, and was just standing there broadside, showing me his shoulder. And I'm like, this is perfect. And I bring the gun up, click. I'm like, what in the heck? I jack out 3-4 rounds, figuring maybe it's bad primers or bad ammo. I'm down to my last round in the gun. I make sure there's a round in the gun. I open it up just enough to see the brass, close it back up again. I'm looking in the hammer, trying to clear that all out, making sure there's nothing in there that's holding it, stopping it, and the safety was on. I clicked the safety off, put it on his shoulder, dropped him where he stood. And that's why I call this guy the click buck.